just in thinking of the rhythm, there's a certain rhythm to relationships, the interaction with locals. You know, there's a certain rhythm that goes along with our interactions and relationships, and as I go throughout my day and do these things that have become pretty much second nature after having been here over 8 years, and then I see people like new vloggers that come in, you know, they just blow in the town and our first impression of Ecuador, you know, okay. And just saying that I was watching another video and the guy is walking around and he's really happy, and you know, he's just in a happy mood, and he's handing out $10 bills to street vendors and stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh. So what I do with these is I put them in the freezer, and then we got frozen bananas and frozen poison berries, and we make our smoothies with them. And he's handing out $10 bills to street vendors and stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh. And of course, after a week later, he's gone. You know, he's left the country, he's gone. You know, when we spend time viewing some of this information out there that isn't really real, it isn't real to what it takes to really live in a place like this as a permanent fixture, as a permanent resident, as somebody that's there, living there year-round, as opposed to somebody that just blows in for a week or two, hands out $10 to everybody, you know. And you know, it's like, when I look back at how long it takes to establish that relationship, like for me today, I went and it's just no effort at all. She just gives me all these for the dollar, and you know, I get all those bananas, you know, just a huge bag of limes, you know, and stuff, just to be able to show up and you're treated with the respect and understanding that you're a local here. You know, you're not the guy that's just blowing through and you can, you know, you're gonna pay the, you know, the big huge prices on everything. You know, I think about these things because it's like, it takes like on average it takes like 6 months to establish such a relationship, because when you first show up, you know, and you're fighting all of these other people that are blowing through here and throwing money around and stuff, you know, you're fighting that stigma, and it's awful. I hate it. In a way that I like it and I hate it, because I know that it's a blessing to give. It is more blessed to give than to receive, but yet we don't want to do it in such a way that it comes back to bite us, you know, when we're trying to live in a place on a regular basis. And this is not just about price, it's about everything. It's like, you see these people, like we just made a video about the crime that happened. People risk safety to themselves. You know, they risk safety by not adhering to certain standards and norms, you know, because, like, you know, just as an example, the vlogger I was talking about earlier, just walking around and handing out $10 bills, that right there will make you a target. That right there, just that action right there it can make you a target. And you know, you've got people that think that, oh, I'm going to go over here because there's more African Americans and everything's going to be all right. You know, and it's funny because I had some African American friends that left, but it was funny because she said to me, I'm a minority, and I looked at her and I said, yeah, so am I. You know, we're both minorities. Welcome to the club. So yeah, I think I know a little something about being a minority. After, you know, 8 years, 10 years. And it's all about respect, just respecting one another, respecting people, and understanding the culture. And this goes well anywhere you are, even in America, North America. But it's a kind of a satisfaction that you achieve after you've been to a place, you've been in a place, and you finally achieve that level, because it does take time and effort to achieve it, because it's not automatic. Like when you first get here, there's that constant, I mean, they're back and forth where you got to show them, no, I'm not going to be engaging in that kind of behavior. And it's a simple matter of respectfully saying, no, I'm not buying at that price. No, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm not going to do that. No. And have a nice day. And then showing them that one of the impressions is that the foreigner has no options because they don't know. And so you're fighting that impression that says, well, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know. And when you walk by and you don't buy and you don't shop, they don't see you for weeks and they see you again, it's like, it kind of sinks in a little bit. It kind of actually takes that back and forth, that period of time, that introductory period of time to establish that respect. And I have a relationship now. I can send my son down and I can tell her, well, I'll send my son, and she'll just give him a big bag of onions and this kind of thing. So, and again, and this is not just about price, it's about all of our interactions, which price is at the center of. Price is a focal point of our interaction, because especially if somebody like me that actually enjoys the interaction, the one-on-one interaction with the locals, as opposed to the maybe the impersonal interaction that you get at the main grocery stores. Speaking of which, I just spoke to a friend in North America that we were gonna go to the restaurant, but we're gonna wait till next week. And almuerzo is still $3, but he was telling me he was gonna go to Panera Bread. I know Panera Bread. We used to go to Panera Bread. Nice atmosphere, nice place. Prices are much higher. It's a stateside. But apparently they wouldn't let him in, and they said it was company policy, this or that. And he said, you know what, we ought to lawsuit this corporation, this Panera Bread, for having policies that are antagonistic to people's beliefs, people's health, and just people's dignity. You can't just have whatever policy you want. You can't have a policy that you have to pickpocket people or something. It's ridiculous. You can't make whatever. There's a limit. There's a line drawn in the sand, and the kind of policies you have to be respectful of all people. And so he said we should lawsuit these corporations because that have these policies, and I agree with him. Speaking of the corporations here, the big stores here, it's been a year and a half. There's no longer an emergency. It's been over a year and a half, and they still want to make you take your temperature, and they still want you to put a mask on just to go shopping. And that has to end. It's got to end yesterday, And if you're a bilingual that has some connections with some human rights lawyers here, I'd be more than happy to connect with you and to figure out and brainstorm ways to go after these corporations here and give them some real life headaches for what they're doing to the people, because these policies are actually unconstitutional. They're actually unlawful here in Ecuador, and they're unconstitutional. And Ecuadorians have a right and actually a duty to facilitate and enforce the Constitution here in Ecuador. So what these stores are doing here is just as bad as what they're doing there in the States. I'm glad people are talking about lawsuiting there. But again, any bilingual that wants to contact me and maybe do some brainstorming about how to go after these companies here legally and give them a run for their money. And I know that one of the great things about coming to Latin America and being here is, of course, we have family here, and Ecuadorians are very muy simpático to us. We have family here, and yet when we first came, one of the great joys of being in a Latin culture was being around people. And now that very same joy that was at the top of the list has fallen all the way to the bottom of the list. And even Angie reminds me on a regular basis how much she no longer enjoys just the simple act of being out in the middle of people, especially when you go to the stores where they enforce these unlawful policies, just to be able to, buy your necessities, because we all have to eat. And remember that it's okay to disagree. We agree to disagree. Human rights are there for the express purpose of protecting the minority opinion. And that's what they're there for. And therefore, you're welcome to have your opinion that's different, but that does not negate the minority opinion's right to their position in life and their enjoyment of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Thanks for coming to the channel. Have a nice day.